Okay, what you saying, people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope you're all doing well. Like always, guys, any pairs, any charts you're looking at, feel free to let me know in the chat below. We'll discuss, take a look, share my analysis, all that good stuff. So make sure you go and do that. Hey, Lucky, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? But yeah, guys, any charts, let me know. If you are looking to join my Telegram, I've got a link to that in the description below and also at the top of the chat. Post my trading setups there, my watch list and videos I shared there as well. If you are looking for a broker, I do have my affiliate link to IC Markets. Go and check that out if you want to, using the link if you want to. But yeah, guys, welcome to the charts. I do have the fan going in the background, so I do hope that is not kind of messing with the audio. If it is, let me know. Then I'll consider turning it off. But that fan is a necessary right now. It's an essential, because it is boiling. But yeah, guys, when take a look at the charts, I'm in one position. I entered pound entity yesterday. Posted this one on Telegram. Looking for this one to roll over back down into this area of support, which I've got at around 1.9 1500. I do have some further targets down at this area here, 1.89, which is around here. So I do expect the market to eventually come back down to that area down there, but I'm just going to trade it in stages. Main reason being the market is very, very choppy. As you can see, this is the daily time frame. If I drop down to the 4H, you can see how things are moving. It's very, very choppy. So it's most likely I'm not going to catch this whole move down to 1.89 in one move. It most likely will be, fluctuations up and down, up and down. So I'm in short from yesterday at this kind of closure here, giving me that bearish engulf variation pattern, basically bearish engulfing. Stop loss above these wicks above here, and I'm looking for a push all the way back down into that 1.915 level down there. So that's the trade I've got running right now. That's the full targets at 1.89, but I'll probably just close most of my profit around here. And then look to see if I can get into a second trade and leave some profit from this one running, and see if I can get a second trade. But yeah, that one's playing out quite well. Again, the market's been fluctuating up and down, so it's kind of just waiting for that fluctuation, push to the upside. We had that trend line confluence around there. Price came into that with a lot of momentum. Respect the big wick to the upside down the 4H, saw that line up nicely with the hourly, so entered off that candle there, stop loss above, and looking for price to continue. But yeah, so that's only the trade I'm in this week. There's a few other pairs I'm looking at, so hopefully we can get into another position this week. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm doing good, hope you're doing well. I was wondering what your thoughts on CHF JPY. Yeah, CHF JPY was a pair that I was looking at last week, not so much this week. Reason being because I'm more bullish on the JPY pairs. So my thought process last week was looking for shorts for this one, but it's not so. I mean, from a technical standpoint, it's still lining up. Reason being, we're still holding on to this level here. So this is the level where I said if we can hold this, I do expect CHF JPY to drop. We've had a breakout, this consolidation down here, but this is a bit more of a kind of just a fake move because price was consolidating there, trapping some traders. Then we had that big push to the upside. So I said if you can hold this level, I do see CHF JPY dropping, but my bias has slowly changed for the JPY from expecting JPY strength to expecting a bit more JPY weakness, which is why I'm not so keen on shorting CHF JPY anymore. In fact, I'd rather wait for price to break above this level, retest it, then look for longs into these price swing highs up here. I think that's probably most likely what's going to happen for CHF JPY. But if you are looking to short from a technical standpoint, this is the level to keep an eye out for, because this is where we had our head and shoulder pattern here. So left shoulder, head up there, right shoulder, and then we snap through to the downside. So we just basically come back to the right shoulder resistance, which could give us a double top, 1, 2, and then drop. So if you are looking at shorting this one, we're at a good place. Stop loss above that area. In terms of price action, potentially you can get a nice bearish engulfing there. That could be a nice trade there. Obviously the 4H is looking a little bit bullish, but I wouldn't worry too much because it's still respecting that level. And then yeah, look to go short, and you've got some targets there to aim for, targets back here, and depends how far you want to push the trade. But like I said, I'm expecting to see a little bit more JPY weakness, so I do think some of these JPY pairs are still heading up. And obviously the higher time frame trend for CHF JPY is very much still to the upside as well. So you know, that's definitely, if you're shorting the pair, what you're going up against. But from a technical standpoint, it does line up. It does line up, and if it does break through this level, all you have to do is flip your bias, break and retest, and look for bias to the upside as well. And you do have a pretty nice pip range to work with. 183 pips to the upside, to the highs, and from where price is, you've got 290 pips. So you know, either which way, wherever your bias is, you can still make some good profit for this one. But if you are short or looking to get short at a nice area, if we do break through however and get a break and retest, I'm expecting price to return back to highs at 143.762. But yeah, what's your bias for CHF JPY? Are you looking to buy, sell? It's at a very, very nice level, 142. But if we do snap through that, I'm thinking 144 new highs could be next. Morning Dorcas, welcome to the stream, hope you are well. Could look at pound AUD and gold, of course. Excuse me. Okay, so pound AUD. Okay, so for this one, looking pretty bearish. Again, very, very choppy market. It's been for a while, but I mean overall, if I just draw a box around that, you know, we're trading in a range here. So in my books here, we're just seeing another fluctuation to the downside of that range. So you know, I'm just going to be expecting price to come back down to the lows of the range, which is this zone here at 1.725, 1.72. There is a level of support here to keep in mind, because when we did see the last down move, we didn't quite make it into the lows. I would expect us to do that now, but we didn't quite make it to the lows. So obviously this 1.735 area is something to take note of. But for me, for pound AUD, expecting this one to continue back down to the lows here at 1.72, back down to the lows of the range, where we might see a bounce back to the upside. Who knows? We have to see what type of price action we can get there. But higher time frames for this one, for pound AUD, still definitely bearish. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a break of this low and see a breakout of the consolidation. But in terms of the immediate price action, what I'm seeing right now, daily, 4H, you know, everything is still looking bearish. I believe we have a trend line which price keeps bouncing from. Yeah, as you can see, multiple tests of this trend line here. Price just keep bouncing, failing to break through, showing us that the sellers are still mainly in control of this market, even though we are seeing a lot of bullish moves here. It's just very, very choppy. So yeah, if you're looking to get involved with this one, that would have been a great short day yesterday. Or if we do pull back up again, you know, for another test, since we've done so many, you know, who says we can't do another one? Look to get short again. We've got some nice resistance to work with there as well. And yeah, targets for this one, 1.735 and then 1.72 down there. But for me, onwards and downwards for this one, everything is pointing bearish. If we snap through that trend line impulsively, then that's when things get interesting, and I'll probably hold off for a little bit, because this is not just kind of like any trend line breakout, because we are trading in a bigger range here. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's a very textbook, you know, breakout of a trend line, because a trend line, you know, you want trending markets. That's when the trend lines perform the best, when the market is trending. So if you break to the upside here, you know, we should come back to the highs of the range, we could still leak and bleed back over. So yeah, for pound AUD, 1.735 is looking good. I hope you guys can hear me over the fan, by the way. If you can't, let me know. But yeah, for this one, I'm expecting price back down to 1.735 and then 1.72. Everything is pointing to the downside for this one. And gold, we'll take a look at gold. Gold. Okay, so yeah, gold was trading at 1700, so I'm expecting a bounce from gold, which I've been saying for the past kind of week or so. Expecting to see a bounce from gold. We're coming to this wick region here at 1700, big psychological level, and also major level of support as well, you know, which did facilitate this big move to the upside. So we are trading at a very, very important area where the bigger players will be taking notice of this level here as well. But for me, for gold, I expect some retracement for two reasons. One, because of where we're trading, and two, because the market is definitely quite overextended. We had a consolidation over here, broke to the downside, a lot of momentum. More consolidation, broke to the downside, a lot of momentum. We haven't really seen too much up movement, just a lot of down, sideways. So we're in desperate need of some upside momentum. Again, nothing crazy, nothing too crazy. We don't have to look for a huge reversal to make profit here. This resistance up here is where I'll be expecting market to most likely get to, 1745, around this, just underneath 1750, which again, key psychological level. So if we can hold this, which we're doing so well right now, expecting to see a move to the upside for gold back to 1745, 1750, which does look pretty probable. In terms of entries and buying this market, I wouldn't say look to buy just yet. I mean, I'm liking this 1, 2, then we saw some new highs past this point. If we can confirm support somewhere, come back and retest this and get another entry signal, candlestick pattern, then yeah, buys could look good. I wouldn't buy this because price is just really launched to the upside. You want price to retrace first. But yeah, if we can respect that support again, that would be a great place to buy it. Or even better, break back above the high there and then get the retest. That would be nice as well. But yeah, in terms of direction, for me, bias is to the upside for gold. We could fall and have a deeper retracement of this zone, because remember, this whole zone is the support, not necessarily the top of it. So we could have that fall, but as things stand, I'm still expecting 1745 for gold. No problem, Dorcas, happy to help. Gold's gonna bleed. Still bearish, Anthony, on gold. I mean, you've been calling all the shorts so far, so I won't be surprised. But yeah, I'm actually expecting gold to see some life come back into it. Yeah, seeing some life come back at this major support. I mean, things are not looking quite ready yet to buy. I mean, obviously, because I'm not buying it, but yeah, I'm expecting to see some retracement coming back. It's just getting some fresh air before continuing to bleed some fresh air. I like that. It's getting some fresh air. Yeah, I mean, I do expect to see retracement again. I mean, from here will be a great place for the market to continue back to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised entirely if we go and actually take out the lows of these wicks here. So go and actually see some new lows. It's 1680, 1670. I wouldn't be surprised if we go and do that, since we've come so close. If I just move this zone out of the way, we've come so close to take out, because this is our original low down here. If I just put a line there, get a little magnet tool out. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, this is our original low here, and the market came again, almost took out the low, failed to do it, and the market came again, almost failed to take out the low, and then reversed. And normally the market likes taking liquidity, so if you form like support and the market respects it so close like that, it's only a matter of time before we actually go and take out that wick, because there will be a lot of stop losses from this low here beneath it. There'll be some more stop losses because of this low beneath it, and then there'll be even more stop losses because of this low beneath it. So the market does have a good reason to come and take out this level before maybe having a bigger upside move. So I wouldn't be surprised if that wick does go. I mean, we did see something similar to this on Euro USD not too long ago on the monthly time frame. There you can see we had this wick here, which I was highlighting to you guys, and then we came so close twice. So you can see we came once there, just turn around again there, just pull back, and then finally price went to go and take out that wick there on the monthly. And I think we had another example, forget which pair, but you guys can understand what I'm talking about. There is a pattern that does happen quite a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if we go and take out that wick there for gold. But yeah, I do think a bit of life can come back into it, a bit of fresh air, as you say, and then yeah, we might actually go and take out the wicks. But 1745 does look good for sells even as well. Even if we do see a pullback up there, sells will look good again if you can get the necessary price action. CAD JPY, pound USD, of course we'll get to that, no problem. Just read that. Hey Tix, what are you saying? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, aren't you long on Euro JPY? I'm pretty sure you said you were buying Euro JPY last week, didn't you? Are you still holding that position? I'll start with CAD Yen and go to pound USD first. Okay, so CAD JPY, we did see some more upside yesterday, but we did suffer a bit of retracement, as you can see on that daily candle. And right now looking a little bit bearish, but you know, it is expected coming to resistance up there. So for CAD JPY, things are still looking quite bullish. You know how things are looking. I wouldn't look to sell it just yet. I know we're testing resistance there at 107 and respected it quite nicely, those 2 wicks. But for me, how things are situated, things are still looking bullish for the CAD JPY. I still do see a bit more upside for the yen pairs as well. So if you're looking at CAD JPY, I'd wait for a downwards move, because right now things are looking a little bit bearish on the hourly. So if you could fall to the downside, maybe come back and test this consolidation here, that would be a nice place to go long again. If you can respect that low, retest it, and then move back to the upside. Maybe you're actually going to see some new highs as well past that point. So yeah, for me, for CAD Yen, still expecting more upside. I do think we can see some new highs for this one, past the wick up here at 107.214. I do think we'll probably take up those highs. But obviously you want some bit more retracement than that before buying. Got the consolidation there. If you can come into that zone, retest it, can get some nice longs to the upside again. Even if we do pull back a little bit deeper into this low down here, I reckon the longs are still looking good at 105. So yeah, CAD JPY still see some more upside for this one. I think those highs are likely to go with the way things are moving. If we do fall over and see some downside, most likely it's going to be retracement. Obviously wait for your confirmations and all that good stuff, but most likely will be retracement just to continue higher again. So yeah, CAD Yen still see some more upside. Targets would be the high of that wick there, 107.200, or where else you want to target. But I do believe we'll probably see some new highs in the coming days. And yeah, we're going to pound USD. We are seeing a lot of weakness for the dollar at the moment. Yeah, still holding. Nice ticks. Where's your target for that one? You just letting the trade run, or do you have a specific target of where you're looking to exit the trade? I think before gold breaks COVID lows, gold is going to grab some air above before making. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was thinking there with the 1745 level. I'll go briefly touch on gold again, but I do agree with that statement. So yeah, pound USD still trading at some critical support here on the monthly time frame. Again, we've seen some dollar weakness, which is helping out pound USD to the upside here. But again, it's nothing too crazy. It's nothing too crazy in terms of we are reversing. You know, a lot of people looking at this momentum on the low time frames and think it's reversal time. It well could be, but we just need more information to decipher that. You know, the same people that think price is reversing right now probably thought price was reversing then, and reversing then, and reversing then as well. So, and you can see what's happened since then. So pound USD from a higher time frame perspective, I'm still bearish on until I get some more information and more price action, give me some, you know, some firm high lows, show me that okay, the trend is starting to change, and that's when I'll start you know, thinking about going, you know, a lot more bullish on pound USD and looking for reversals. But as things stand right now, everything is still pointing to the downside, and this push to the upside just looks to be retracement. We could still go a little bit higher. We still could go a little bit higher. I do have this level up here in mind of where price potentially could go, you know, 1.215 up into there before we do have that next leg to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised if that was to happen. But as things stand right now, pound is definitely looking quite bullish with this move to the upside, or should I say dollar's looking quite bearish, because I think dollar's the main kind of driving force right now. But pound USD, it looks like we're climbing back above this zone. If we can stay above this, buys back into 1.21500 do look good. And then from there we might sell off and come right back down again. We do have this high here on the left to take notice of, so 1.20517. That could be an area to look out for. If we do have the retest, we might fail and roll over. If we can snap through that level there, then most likely we'll come back to 21600, 21500 before that next bearish leg to the downside. But yeah, for pound right now, we're climbing back above some key levels, so I would expect to see some more upside. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing, much appreciated. But yeah guys, if you are enjoying the stream, please leave a like, subscribe, join the fam. All that is much appreciated and does really help the channel out. But yeah, if we stay above this, I would expect to see some more upside for pound. But again, that doesn't change too much in terms of the bigger picture and where we're actually moving. Things are still looking bearish, and until I see more evidence that we are actually having a reversal, that's going to remain my bias for this one. And for the DXY, I'm expecting the DXY to see some downside anyway, because it is in desperate need of retracement. But again, this downside move for DXY doesn't change too much of what price is doing right now in terms of upside. And you see some lower highs getting printed, on the daily at 4H, and you see some resistance forming before I start saying reversals are on. Right now, this should just give me retracement, and I expect price to return back to highs in the next kind of few days. But yeah, that's my analysis on pound USD and the dollar, so to speak. But yeah, we'll take a look at Euro JPY. So yeah, Euro JPY last time I checked was looking pretty good, still pushing to the upside. So yeah, things on the 4H are looking good. We kind of had a slow breakout, but this one is picking up pace. Again, how things are looking, I do think Euro JPY is looking good to come back into this area here. This is where we had a big wick here on the daily, and then price saw all that momentum to the downside. So this is where I'm expecting Euro JPY to come into this 142 area. We well could break this and come back to highs and just kind of continue that higher time frame trend, which is obviously definitely to the upside. The chance of price coming back to highs, it is fairly favorable, but I would watch out for this zone here, because we could see a nice bullish move. It is quite corrective. You might see retracement here, and then the next bullish move take us back to the highs there. So do watch out for that zone at 142. We could see some retracement before that next bullish leg. But in terms of how things are looking, everything is looking very, very bullish here. So yeah, more upsides for Euro JPY. I'd watch out for 142 though. It probably most likely just gives some retracement though. Most likely, I don't think we'll reverse bearish just yet. So I think most likely just a bearish leg to the downside, and then maybe continuation back up to 144. But yeah, as overall things are looking very, very good, breaking out that consolidation back down here and staying above that area. So looking good for Euro JPY. Euro Cad, of course, we'll get onto that, Kim. No problem. Thank you. No problem. Thank you. Miko, this year is just blood, man. Most of the pairs are just bleeding when the country is in recession. They say the market reacts before the time. Yes, I mean, it depends how good you are at technical analysis, because a lot of crashes, from stock markets, basically any financial market, if you're good at technical analysis, you can predict a lot of crashes. Again, a lot of kind of famous people who've shorted the market when you've had big crashes are just really good technical analysis. Like, they can see the lower highs or the higher lows building up. They can see structure breaking, and it's clear to see the market roll over, because you have to understand that most people in these markets, from a technical standpoint, are not really that advanced. A lot of people are just especially stocks and indices, the general direction for those markets is to the upside. So a lot of them are just buying as price goes higher. But if you've got good knowledge from a technical standpoint, you can see when structure is changing, when things are changing, and you can predict these falls, like Euro USD. this massive down move that's happened this year, well, since 2021 actually. You can see the market failing at those highs. You can see the lower highs building up. It's clearly short. Obviously, we could have gone bullish, but the market's always printing us lower highs. So as long as that trend stayed and that structure stayed, we were always going to keep melting. And even from a higher time frame perspective, coming to some areas up here, it only makes sense for the market to roll over. Obviously, a move like that probably won't predict such a move, but you can predict the market starting to have some downside. So yeah, I completely agree with that. But yeah, it all comes down to just the technical spotting structure changing and the trend changing, and that's what technicals allows you to do. But yeah, you're definitely right. Everything has been falling. Gold, silver, Euro USD, Pound USD, AUD USD. Obviously, dollar's been flying, but obviously because dollar, a lot of people in times of risk change their money into dollar, so it makes sense that dollar is moving up. But whether dollar will sustain that is a different question. And again, I'm not too much into fundamentals, so I don't really have that kind of very high level knowledge of all of that and things happening behind it. But from a face value point of view, I do expect dollar to eventually reverse, but just need to wait for more evidence that that's going to happen. Target 142. Okay, so yeah, it makes sense, but we could see around 150. Yeah, I was looking at Euro JPY in the higher time frames. In fact, I was looking at all the JPY pairs in the higher time frames over the weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised if Euro JPY does head back up to these highs, which is what I think you're talking about. Yeah, 150, just above that. Big psychological level 150. I wouldn't be surprised if we do push into those highs up there, as we have cleared this high over here, and it looks like price has just retested it with this current monthly wick, so that could continue in the next couple of months to the upside potentially. So yeah, if the momentum sustains, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see 150 before we have a bigger reversal. But yeah, as things stand, 142 looks good. Might see some retracement off that, and then 144 could be our next stop. Good time to long Euro USD for 50 to 100 pips target. We'll go and take a look at Euro USD right now. Okay, Euro USD. So yeah, for this one, Euro USD, let me just remove that line. Euro USD, I'm looking at price returning back to this area here. So prior support, obviously monthly support as well. I'm looking for the market to come back and retest this level, since we did have that break. Huge candle to the downside, never came back to retest. This could be our retest. So in terms of targets for Euro USD, again, I'm not bullish or anything yet. I'm still quite bearish on this pair. I'm still looking at this leg to the upside as retracement until I get more evidence that it isn't. So for 100 pips, I mean, how is price right now? So yeah, price is about 100 pips away from that level. Now I think this level is most likely where price is going. So if you can see some retracement, some buys to that level would be good. I wouldn't buy it right now. That's a huge candle to the upside. Doesn't really make any sense to buy the market right now. But if we can retrace, buys would look good. Buys would look good. We've obviously got this high-low formation here. If we retrace back to that, that would be a great buy. We've got this kind of area here where the market forms some really nice support, resistance, broke through, come back and retest that. That would be a nice buy area here. And yeah, targets up there. I mean, you didn't even have the target there. You could probably take your profit a little bit earlier if you're looking for 50 pips. So yeah, Euro USD does look good for 50 to 100 pips to the upside. But I wouldn't buy where price is right now unless you have, a big stop loss underneath these lows. You're going to buy the market here, stop loss underneath there. That's the only way it would make sense to buy where the market is right now and expect to see potential drawdown as well. But yeah, Euro USD does look good. I'm expecting a retest of that zone if this momentum can sustain, and from here we might roll over again. But yeah, wait for some retracement on the 4H stroke the hourly, and then you can start looking for some buys around this area. 1.012, 1.01 looks pretty good. So yeah, that potentially could be on the cards. I'll just move stops a little tighter when it gets around 40. Okay, 142. Okay, I can look to swing the trade all the way up to 150 ticks, or you're gonna look to take most of your profit or partials off at 142. Yeah, what's the plan for this one? Are you looking to push it to 150? Oil, we'll take a look at oil. Oil is actually a pair, a bonus pair for my weekly analysis this week. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. Most recent video on my channel, obviously apart from the live. But yeah, just go through a bunch of pairs there, including oil. But I'll do oil in a second. I'm also waiting for DXY to get some fresh air so we can buy gold and euro. Miko, you must add fundamentals to your trading. It helps with direction and volatility. Yeah, I mean, I have been meaning to be fair, I've been meaning to look into more to fundamentals. I mean, fundamentals do help a lot because I can understand that a lot of people are getting ready for some moves to happen that I have not much understanding of. I'm waiting for price action to tell me it's going to happen, and then I'll trade it. Whereas some people already forecasted, okay, this is going to happen. Now I'm going to wait for price action to line up with the fundamentals and then trade it. So from that perspective, it makes a lot more sense because you're kind of adding more confluence and more direction to your trading. So from that aspect, it does make a lot of sense. I never see fundamentals as what's the word? Like you need it to trade, because you don't need fundamentals to trade. But it's obviously it's just gonna help your game. So again, and also as a bit more of a long-term trader, it probably would add some more value to my trading. So yeah, I've been meaning to look into it. I have started, but I haven't been consistent, to be fair. So yeah, I do need to up my game on that. But yeah, we'll take a look at oil. So oil for this one, I'm bearish. I'm looking for oil to roll over. So far it's rejecting these highs up here. I'm looking for oil to see some downside back down to 75. Get a bit more of a long-term analysis. As of right now, price is still holding on to this critical level of support. So I do think we can see some life come back for oil, potentially up to here, 110, before we have the rollover, or we snap through that and get the break and retest. But as things stand, oil's definitely respecting 94. We're coming into this high right now. Not too much evidence that we are going to roll over. Things are still looking quite bullish. We are coming into this high, but as things stand, things are still looking quite bullish right now. The main level I would look to short from is 110, 111 up there. So if you could see a bit more upside, kind of take this high out, come back to that level with some really nice shorts. But yeah, oil for me, just coming into this high up here, stroke retesting that level on the left. If you see a bit more evidence in that area, there could be some nice shorts. Thanks Kim, much appreciated. So yeah, there could be some nice shorts developing, but as things stand, it's very corrective. So yeah, I wouldn't really do anything just yet. I'll wait for more evidence. If we can hold, then yeah, another leg to the downside. If we do break above, then I'll wait for price to come back to 110, 111, and then yeah, short it right back down to 94. So yeah, that's how I'm viewing oil at the moment. We do have a pretty strong candle there on the daily. It just depends what we do here on the lower time frames. If we can throw some more wicks to the upside, see some momentum, then yeah, that drop is likely. If we blow straight through that level, then 110 is where we're going, and then yeah, same thing, short it right back down. Hey, welcome to the stream. UCPLN, of course. Haven't seen that pair in a while. Yeah, if it allows me, I'll ride it to 150. Wow, wicked. I mean, that would be a colossal trade there, Ticks. I wonder how many pips that would be. The weekly trend is up, so I still let it ride. Okay, fair enough. I mean, you still do have a lot of things going for you to the upside, so I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see that continuation, really. Yeah, it was corrective. I was expecting it to be a bit more impulsive. Hey, thank you, Radio, for the subscription. Much appreciated. But yeah, I was expecting Euro JPY to rip a little bit further to the downside. I was actually expecting a lot more downside for the JPY pairs in general. But a lot of them kind of just exhausted at the bottom, and a lot of them are showing a lot of wicks. And now we're picking up momentum again to the upside. So yeah, I do think the continuations to 144 look good. 150 from a long-term point of view look good as well. Most likely we'll see some downside though, some retracement before we get there, which could actually give some nice buys to people looking to get in. But yeah, in terms of direction, yeah, everything is looking bullish. I can definitely second that. But yeah, we'll take a look at USD PLN. That is not on my watch list, so I have to search that one up. I can't remember the last time I analysed this pair. Okay, so it was clearly over here. Last time I analysed it, what was the date was that? 13th of May. So not too long ago. So yeah, for this one, okay, so we had the consolidation here. I remember I said if we can hold this support, buys to the upside, obviously we are ranging. So we did see that move happen there. We did get the break and retest, but as you can see from that way, the break and retest did end up fading. The market closed back inside the consolidation, and obviously continued to the downside and absolutely melted there. So where have we gone? Okay, there we are. So yeah, USD PLN, is that some new highs? Yeah, is that all-time highs? Yes, it is. Okay, so, well, at least from what TradingView is showing me, it looks like new all-time highs. So yeah, the market is coming back down pretty aggressively off the back of that. How's things looking in the 4H? Yeah, it does look like we could see a retest of this level here. The prior high that we broke through, we didn't really get a retest of that level when we had that breakout. So that looks like most likely where price is coming to. And I really do like that reversal as well. Big move to the upside, consolidation, big move to the downside. So if you're looking to get involved with USD PLN, I'll wait to see if you can get some retracement back into this high up here, respect this level, and then you can catch some shorts to the downside if we retrace, because it's kind of like price is giving us a bit of a head and shoulder here, something like that, with the left shoulder there, break to the upside, forming the head, coming back down, right shoulder, and now we're expecting to see the continuation back down to 4.58, retest that daily level there on the left. So, and if we don't retrace, then subsequently the buys from here will look good for another move back to the upside. Obviously wait for price action and your confirmations, but if you don't have that retracement, then buys back up again would look good. If we do see some upside back into that level, then yeah, look at the short it right back down again. But yeah, we're coming to those all-time high areas, so generally speaking a lot of manipulation can happen around here. But yeah, from what I'm seeing, 4.58 is most likely where price is coming, and if we can hold, we can look to take it back up again. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. Hey, good morning. US 30, of course, we'll get onto that. Euro USD and USDZAR, of course. But yeah, I hope that made sense on USD PLN. Okay, so US 30. Okay, so yeah, US 30 on the weekly time frame is still consolidating more or less. You can see the bodies are kind of just boxed out, a lot of wicks to the downside. So price is having a pretty hard time moving lower, as you can see. But for me, how price is moving right now is very, very corrective. So the best way to trade this is obviously to sell high and buy low, and not try and get too entangled with what's happening in the middle here, because this is generally where people are going to get faked out and, you know, tricked in the wrong direction, more or less. So if you're looking at getting involved with US 30, I'll be waiting for some sells up here and buys up there. I'm still bearish on the pair, so I'm still expecting, you know, these lows to be revisited or taken out and price go further. If we do snap this high, that's when I will change that bias. So if you do break above 31,578, then I'm expecting price to return back to this consolidation up there at 32,800. So if we do break through that, then yeah, fair enough. The short's not looking good anymore, but if you can hold this level, I'm still looking for this to happen, and then if you can get the break and retest, that to happen. So yeah, shorts from up there still look good because it's still holding, and then if you can break through that, little break and retest of 3500 look good. If you do break through this, then obviously break and retest, and then you can get your buys back up to the consolidation there on the daily. But for me, I'm still bearish. So I'm not favoring any buys just yet. I was expecting US 30 just to continue to the downside last week back into these lows. We had a pretty aggressive pullback there, and now we're just kind of tightly knit in this box. So it just depends how price wants to break out. Does it break to the upside or to the downside? That's completely up to price right now. But from a hard time frame perspective, everything's still pointing to the downside. So still expecting the market to drop, but if you do break through that, that's the next target. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for US 30. What's your bias for US 30? Because I remember last time you were talking about sells for US 30 as well. Looking for price to come back down to 29,800 or some new lows. So you're still holding that bias, or you're just waiting to see if you can get a bit clearer price action. So yeah, Euro USD, I had a look at this one briefly before, so expecting to see some retracement, which we can see that upside momentum right now. Again, nothing too crazy for Euro USD. Looking to see if we can get a retest of this level here. Key support will now be turned key resistance. If we can get a retest of that, we can expect to see more downside potentially, and come right back down to lows. As things stand right now, Euro USD is definitely looking quite bullish. Looks like we've had a breakout of this kind of consolidation over here. Big move to the upside. So I said earlier, if Euro USD can retrace, see some higher lows somewhere, could get some nice longs back to the upside to retest that level. Obviously, I wouldn't look to buy Euro USD right now. It doesn't really make much sense after that big candle. But if we do retrace, form another higher low or respect that prior low there, some buys do look good, and 1.03500 as well. Take this one, and if you can respect that, Euro USD right back down again really from there. Another drop to the downside. Everything is still looking bearish to me. I'm just treating this as retracement. We're going to use these Miko, my country is affected big time with this war, everything up, petrol, Miko with that gold trade. I made my first 100k, thanks for your stream, helping you all, I appreciate. No problem, wicked. That is great to hear. To be fair, the whole kind of world, well, from what I know, prices are going up everywhere. Even the UK, petrol prices are going up quite a lot in a lot of areas, to be fair. But yeah, that is good to hear. I'm glad the streams help. That's exactly what the streams are there for. To give value, give advice, share my experiences, share my analysis, and obviously other people will do the exact same on the stream as well. So music to my ears that the stream is helping you. But yeah, USD ZAR, we'll get onto that. So yeah, USD ZAR still looking very, very bullish here. Obviously, dollar still pushing this one up. We have come into that level though at 17.2. So expecting to see some retracement. Again, the main level we've broken through, is what I was mainly focusing for USD ZAR. And the fact that we've broken through that quite confidently tells me that the bigger move probably is likely still to the upside for USD ZAR. We could even return back to these highs up here. I would not be surprised, if we do something like this and then boom, another move to the upside. So long-term analysis, if we were to stay above 16, 19.34 is most likely what we're going to come into. As of now, expecting to see some type of retracement for USDZAR going into the 4H time frame. Things are looking like they are running out of steam. You can see that the way the market is pulling back, that the pullbacks are getting more aggressive, as you can see, more aggressive. So it's a sign that the market is tiring, and most likely we'll see some downside. So I would say if we can respect, let's move that out of the way. If you can respect this area here, again, that would be a nice little sell. Catch the move to the downside. Target 1, this support area there. Target 2, where am I going? Target 2, this low here. I wouldn't really push the trade too far. Reason being, you are up against momentum and higher time frames. We could maybe see a retest of this high up here on the left at 16.3. We could maybe see a move back into that if we're lucky. But yeah, I'll take it step by step with USDZAR. No need to push it too aggressively, just take it step by step. So yeah, for USDZAR, if you can hold 17.14, shorts from there look good. You've got 1, 2, 3 targets there. 16.86, 16.6, 16.35. And yeah, we're coming to some nice areas on the weekly where I do think we can see some retracement. But obviously, a higher time frame perspective, I do think everything is still up. So the downside move I'm calling right now, most likely just be retracement, profit taking, and then we'll probably be back on our bike to the upside. I've had the same USD30 idea up and down. Took my profit yesterday early in the morning, waiting for earnings session to be over. Let's see what happens this week and react next week. Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's all it is, to be fair. Reacting to what is given and not being too fixed as well. All I can see right now is for US30. Higher time frames are still looking bearish, so that's where I'm getting my bias from. As long as the lower highs and lower lows are still being printed on the higher time frames, that's where I get my bias, so therefore I'm always going to be bearish. But obviously going lower, daily 4H, everything is in the range, so the best way to play this market is just literally to play the range, sell from the highs, and if you get opportunity buys from the lows as well. If you do break out the range, then next logical target would be this area up here. Nice consolidation, a lot of momentum, never got the retest when we broke below, so that's where I would expect price to come back to revisit. But yeah, US30 is in the range, not moving too well. So if you do come out there, you could probably catch some nice sells again, but no need to force anything. Yeah, exactly. You know what you're looking for, so when you get that, get out. You don't necessarily have to catch the whole move to be correct. Like my pound NZ trade that I've got going right now, I'm looking for price to eventually come all the way back down to 1.89 into this weekly support here. So this is where I'm looking for price to come back into. But I can see how price is moving for pound NZD, and most likely price will come into this support and probably again have another bounce. So I don't really need to push the trade too far. Most likely just get back in again. I will probably leave a little bit to run to see if I can get to my 1.89 down there to the weekly target. But I'll take majority of my profit off, 80% of the profit off the table at this level here. And if we do retrace, I'll look for another entry. If we don't retrace and we just drop, then I'll just take what I do have running. But yeah, a big part of trading is not being greedy. You're not trying to hit the home runs all the time, because the home runs, the home runs for a reason. They don't happen so often. No problem, happy to help. Miko, do you think EuroCAD is likely to move up to... I forgot to do EuroCAD, my bad. We'll take a look at EuroCAD right now. Do you think EuroCAD is likely to move up to 1.34? We'll take a look. Shorting US oil right now, have a look on it. Okay, I'm bearish on oil long term as well. But I'll go and have another look. Thank you for analysis, no problem, happy to help. So yeah, EuroCAD, is life coming back into Euro? Let me take a look. EuroCAD, Euro CHF, Euro Pound, obviously Euro USD. Euro NZD a little bit. So yeah, it looks like Euro is gaining a little bit of strength. Obviously Euro CAD is pushing. CAD is a little bit weak. CAD is a little bit weak, but Euro is pushing. I mean, Euro CAD's coming to a very, very important area. I'm expecting to see, some upside. Again, nothing too crazy. I do think some bigger retracement is due, but we do have this consolidation which price broke out of and never really had a retest. So similar to Euro USD, coming back to retest the higher time frame level, I think Euro CAD could be doing the exact same thing. 1.34 had a very, very aggressive breakout into this low at 1.3. 1.34 looks good to come and get another retest. Wow, I see a huge candle to the upside, huge candle. So Euro CAD's definitely looking very bullish. 1.34 is the target, but for this one, you want price to retrace now. There's nothing really to do. Even if you're bearish, there's nothing really to short for this one. There's no real clear level we're playing off here. There's some minor levels here on the left, but nothing really too meaningful. Where we're trading 1.326, nothing really meaningful here. So there's nothing really to do right now for Euro CAD. Obviously, this is a great area of consolidation. If we were to come back and retest it, that would be a great place to go long, and push it to 1.34 if that's how far you want to take the trade. But yeah, in terms of targets, 1.34 looks very, very likely. If you're looking to get involved, wait for some downsides for price to retrace. We've obviously had that impulsive move. Next we want to see that retracement before we do get back in. But as of taking action, there's really nothing to do with this one. Even if you are bearish, there's no real opportunity to sell it either. So yeah, wait for some retracement. Obviously, the most logical place to take any buys from would be from this range here around 1.318, and then from there we can push this to 1.34 potentially, or you can just push it back to the highs, depending how far I want to take the trade. You don't have to push it to 1.34. That's just my forecast from a high time frame perspective. But yeah, I do agree 1.34 looks good. Unless you're already in the trade, then yeah, you can just probably see it through. Guys, smash the like button, show some love. Hey, much appreciated, Anthony, much appreciated. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, finding it useful, enjoying it, please be sure to hit the like button. It does really help the stream out. And subscribe as well, join the family. If you are enjoying the content, finding it useful, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button. Why do you trade so many pairs? Well, I don't necessarily trade so many pairs. I'm able to trade so many pairs. I'm not trading so many pairs at once. I very rarely have more than one position going at one point in time, and normally when I do take another trade, it's because the trade that I've got currently running is at break even, or I've taken some profit off the table. So technical analysis, I can trade stocks if I wanted to. Not that I have any desire to trade stocks. It's slightly different, but from a technical perspective, once you understand how to operate, you can pretty much trade any asset. So all Forex markets to me do move very, very similar. Some pairs move slightly different. Obviously from a day trading perspective, Euro USD is going to move a lot better than the NZD CHF. But if you're looking at Euro USD and NZD CHF from a higher time frame perspective, there's not too much to decipher for them. So if I can get a good opportunity on NZD CHF, whilst Euro USD is looking a little bit choppier, 100% I'm going to trade NZD CHF. So I do trade a wide range of pairs, but I'm always focusing on specific pairs at one point in time. So even though on the live stream I'm looking at a lot of pairs for everyone who's trading different pairs, I'm looking at EuroCAD right now, but I'm not trading EuroCAD, and I don't really plan to trade EuroCAD. I really have 2 or 3 pairs that I'm focused on to trade. One of them pound NZD, which I'm trading right now. Another one USD CAD, and another one as well NZJPY. So those are the pairs that I'm kind of focused on for buys and sells, and all the other pairs are kind of just at the back, so I'm not really focusing on them too much, but I can definitely analyze them and give a fairly good target where they probably will go. So yeah, I trade a wide range of pairs, mainly because I look for the best kind of opportunity that fits my strategy, and I pick the opportunity and trade it. And again, some people have different, styles. Some people like to focus on one pair, wait for the best opportunity on that pair to form, and then take that trade, which is perfectly fine. I'm a bit more of a look around, see which one's doing better, and then focus on that opportunity. And because I do trade the higher time frames, and have higher time frame targets in mind, I can afford to look around as well. But again, it's all about people's different styles. But yeah, USD CAD is actually a pair that I'm focused on for some buys. Actually, I'm looking at going long on USD CAD. Nothing quite yet that meets my criteria, but I'm looking to go long on this one. I still do think there's a lot more upside for USD CAD. And I think this bearish move we're having right now is most likely going to be retracement. So my targets for USD CAD are right back at these highs. And I'm looking for price to push all the way back up to 1.32242. Hey, thank you so much for subscribing, Modern Days. Actually, I forgot to check on oil. I'll get to oil in a second, my bad. So yeah, I'm looking at USD CAD coming back to those highs up there. This major level here on the weekly is what we're breaking through. You can see all these wicks have been piled into this area. So many wicks into this area. The market's had a really, really tough time over the past kind of couple of years trying to break through this level. And now we've finally had a breakout. We come back to respect it two, three weeks ago, and now price had that big wick to the upside. So as long as price doesn't break back below this area, I'm expecting price to continue to the upside for USD CAD back to those highs. So that's kind of my long-term high time frame perspective for this one. So as long as we don't break back underneath this zone, and basically I'm just kind of refining that level to this low. So as long as we don't break through this low here at 1.285, I'm looking for USD CAD to return back to those highs. If we do have a reversal, it's because this level snapped and we're going to see another bearish leg. In that case, I would change my bias. But as things stand, it's still bullish on USD CAD. We are holding on to this support here, but I'm not a big fan of how price is moving right now. To me, it looks like price has just had a bearish leg, retracement, and most likely we'll see another bearish leg to the downside. And if that's the case and we move to this level, I'll be looking for my longs here with multiple targets. I won't look for that move in one go because the price is moving a little bit corrective on USD CAD, but I'll take it through stages and most likely to at least this level here on the left. But yeah, I'm looking at longs for USD CAD. Hopefully you can get a trade later in the week. I don't feel like today, nothing's looking quite cemented yet, but I will be looking for some longs. From Africa, Botswana, loving the stream channel. Hey, much appreciated, Botswana, wicked. Yeah, any pairs you want me to take a look at, let me know. I'll get into oil now. US oil, yeah, I'll get into oil. So yeah, oil, I've got a bearish bias for this one. I'm looking at price coming back down to 95 and maybe beyond as well if you can snap through that, 95 being this level here. As things stand, oil's having a pretty strong bounce from this level here, so we could see some more upside. I've got two levels which interest me, 102.53 and 110 up there. Those two levels from there is where oil could potentially reverse. Price is obviously trading at this level right now, but I'm not a fan of how we've moved into this level. Things do look quite bullish. I'm looking at an hourly time frame, and things are still looking quite bullish right now. Unless we get a few more, kind of rejections and price develops a little bit better, maybe some lower highs form, then yeah, a move to the downside does look good. But as things stand, nothing is looking quite like that just yet. So if we do break higher, then simply looking to short from that next level up there, 111, and same target 94, which obviously gives us a much better risk to reward as well to work with. But oil for me, I'm still expecting more downside, but just one of those two levels could give us that kind of rollover, either at 103 where we are right now, or 110, 111 up there. But in terms of targets for oil, I'm looking at this one coming right back down to 94, 95. If we can snap through that, we can go a lot further. But in terms of like bias direction, oil for me, I do see another bearish leg happening. So yeah, if you're in the trade now, obviously it depends where you have your stop loss. If your stop loss is above the high, then you should be okay, because if price does go and take your stop loss and break the high and break the level, most likely it's coming up to there anyway. In that case, you want to be out of the trade, looking to get back in at another price. But if you do respect that and you've given yourself enough room, could catch that bearish move to the downside. But we will have to see. USD peso, I want to try something new. Nice. Always looking to change it up. So yeah, peso is having a little bit of a drop right now. So peso, I was looking at this one on my stream last week. Someone asked to see peso, I can't remember who, but I do remember looking at peso, because we're coming to a very, very key level here at 20.85. And basically, if peso respects this, I do think peso can drop back down into this support here at 19.6, and it has had a pretty wicked wick to the upside there on the weekly. Huge wick, and the last time we got such an exaggerated wick was back over here, and you can see what happened from that wick. Big wick to the upside, and price just continues to the downside. And I find it really interesting how peso moves as well. It's a very, very kind of I'm trying to find the right word. It kind of like I want to say manipulative, but I don't want to say that word. But it does look to be that way, because you can see every time we have huge moves to the upside, it's quickly retraced by a strong move back down again. You can see here, big move to the upside, comes straight back down. Huge candle, straight back down. Nice bullish move, straight back down. Huge candle, straight back down. Huge candle, well, a couple candles, straight back down. Huge move, straight back down. Big move, big wick, straight back down. Big wick, most likely straight back down. So, and even in here, just big moves up and down, up and down. So, basically, it does fluctuate a lot, but there's a bit of story to it. And most likely, you know, if you just continue the pattern of what we've been doing over the past kind of few years, most likely peso will come straight back down to the support after that big wick there. So yeah, if you're looking at trading this one, things are looking quite bearish right now, so I'd wait for some retracement to come back to life, because right now we're kind of just consolidating here. But in terms of targets, that support there in the higher time frame, 19.8, even that low there could be a good target. If you do spike to the upside, you know, maybe come and give us that head and shoulder there on the left. That'll be a nice little area there. You've got your little left there, head, and the right. That'll be a nice little short, or break to the downside, retest if things stay very, very bearish. But yeah, for me, USD MXN peso is looking like it is on its way down. So yeah, hopefully that analysis made sense. Anthony, you looking to trade peso, or you just, you know, just browsing? UCJPY, of course, we'll get into that. No problem, AJ. So you're predicting a sell? Are you talking about for peso? For peso, yeah, as long as we don't snap through above that wick there, I'll expect that to be the next lower high and see a drive to the downside back down to 19.7. So yeah, I would expect to see peso sell off. If that's the pair you're talking about. UCJPY, we'll take a look at this one. So again, a lot more upside for UCJPY. We never broke structure last week, so as things stand, price is still very, very bullish. We're seeing some retracement right now, but the question is how long does this retracement last? Or if it is a reversal, you know, how long until we find out when it is a reversal? As things stand right now, USDJPY is still very, very bullish, and we've got a really nice confluence here between this resistance here and this trend line kind of just building up nicely around about this point there. So if we could see a pullback into that, like I said on my weekly analysis, I would expect to see another bullish leg to the upside, at least, you know, back to the highs. for USJPY. If we snap through this, that's when my bearish bias starts to come back into life, back into play for this one, because as of right now we snapped through that monthly level at around 135, and now we're still pushing from that. So if we can hold this, that's what I'm expecting USJPY to head to. Seeing some nice downside, looking for that next higher low, next leg to the upside into 139. So a little bit more downside for this one. And then I do think some buyers will be coming back into play. If we don't and we just plummet, then yeah, the sells are back in play and we can start looking for those reversals. But only till then will I start looking for reversals for USJPY. So I think as an area of interest, an area to get involved, 136,700 to 136,500. Obviously, kind of depending where we kind of fall into the trend line, but that sort of area there looks great for some buy opportunities. And again, you don't necessarily have to hold on for a move back to highs. You can look for a move halfway and still bank some nice profit. I mean, if I measure that halfway, you're still looking about 130 pips. If you do see the whole way, that's about 250. So you don't have to look for the full swing to make some good pips from that. But yeah, USJPY is still bullish, nice little area of interest. See what happens when we get there. Still a few pips to actually get there first, but I would expect price to move to the upside. Gold, okay, we'll take a look at gold. So yeah, gold, expect to see some retracement back to 1745. Gold is looking a little bit tricky. I mean, I wouldn't look to buy gold right now because we are pushing to the upside, so you don't need buying, into highs, into resistance. I said if we can snap above that, retest it, can see a push into 1745. If we can come back and retest this level again, that will be a nice place to go long as well. And again, target 1745, where again there could be some nice sells to come back down again. You can see huge momentum into that level, kind of just reversed on a pinhead there, came straight back down. So if you do see it gradually back up, we could see just another melt back down again. But for gold, the way things are shaping up, I've got a nice little low over there, high, higher low, higher high, potential higher low. I do think we can see some upside and some retracement, especially if DXY continues to see some downside as well, which could help gold obviously head higher, have a bit of a breather, because it has been melting very, very hard over the past few days / few weeks, so it does need to have a bit of a breather. So yeah, for me, gold, expecting some retracement, 1740, 1745 looks good. Then we'll see what we can get in terms of price action from up there, if we can get some sells back down again. Just been browsing, Miko. I'm a gold digger, Miko. When I make my first million, I'm coming to you personally to hang out, plus never been to London. I mean, that would be great. I mean, probably don't have to make a million to come to London, but there's nothing wrong with making a million, of course. But yeah, I mean, London's not bad. I would say make sure you come in the summertime, because any other time, London is very, very, not miserable, but the weather's just not great at all. I mean, London's probably just known for a lot of rain and a lot of cloud, but summertime's not bad. I mean, right now, the temperature's like 37 or 36 or something like that, which is insane for London. I mean, for South Africa, 36, 37 is probably standard, but London, that's very, very high. So yeah, I do recommend summertime. But yeah, London's pretty cool. And to be fair, I do want to do some visiting. South Africa, need to go back there again. Probably some other places in Africa as well. But yeah, this is my current trade. Actually, I haven't actually talked much about pound NZD, but yeah, I'm actually short. Thank you questioning everything. Welcome to the fam. So yeah, this is the trade that I'm currently in, which I did post on my Telegram yesterday. Posted this on Telegram yesterday. Shorting pound NZD from 1.94-ish, back down to 1.9, is that 14500? Yeah, 1500, yeah. Back down to 1.91500. So this is the trade I'm currently in, which entered yesterday. I do have a bit more long-term analysis for this one, back down to these lows here, 1.89. But for the trade, I'm just going to be looking for a move back down to the support. Reason being, this is a very, very sideways moving market, and if the market does want to go bullish, this is definitely a place where we could start moving to the upside again. So I'm going to make sure I'm out the trade. I've already taken some partials coming into some of these areas here on the left, so I've already taken some partials, but we'll look to exit the trade. Maybe not fully, because I might leave a little bit to run to see if I can get to 1.89, but I'll definitely take majority of it off. But yeah, reason I got into this trade really is using the higher time frames. Everything is still looking very, very bearish. As you can see on the weekly time frame, so many wicks to the upside here. I mean, I counted there was like 11 or 12 wicks to the upside here on the weekly time frame. So it's telling us that price most likely will not break through this level. Obviously, never say never, and anything can happen. But as a trader, all we do is deal in probabilities. Where's most likely the market going to go? Most likely in this instance, market's going to go south. It's going to go to the downside. So for me, it looks like price is printing the next lower high from this huge drop that we had off the back of Russia, Ukraine. So I do think that next lower high is being printed ever so slowly and will slowly leak over back down to this low here on the left. So that's where I got my bias from: higher time frame, weekly time frame. Going on to the daily, again, more of the same thing really. A lot of wicks to the upside. I was actually originally bullish on pound NZD. A lot of my analysis for pound NZD, I've been looking for price to return back to those highs. If I go and take a look at some of my previous analysis on pound NZD, again, make sure you follow me on TradingView if you want to. I'll post my analysis there. But if I go back to some of my previous analysis on pound NZD, which is over here, so you can see I was actually quite bullish on pound NZD, looking for price to return back to these highs. And we did see some nice moves to the upside, not quite to the highs, but we did see some nice moves to the upside, to catch some nice buys, not to the full target, full TP, but we did see a continuation higher. But you can see every time we pushed higher, things kept returning to the downside very, very quickly. So it was telling me that slowly, ever so slowly, the market was changing from bullish to bearish. So I've got some new bias for this one. So last week had this analysis for pound NZD, looking for a price to roll over from there. Did see a nice push, and then obviously this week as well, looking for a test of the trend line, which price gave us a nice test there. Slight breakout of it, but nothing too much to panic about. So yeah, from a daily point of view, so many wicks to the upside. You can see every time price tried to move to the upside, it kept failing. Thank you so much for subscribing. Every time we tried to continue high, we kept seeing some strong bearish candles, showing us that the buyers are not really in control anymore. And obviously, with countless wicks to the upside, most likely we were going to roll over. So after the strong pullback we had yesterday, I was literally just getting ready to short the market right back down, waiting for that next lower high. I redrew my trend line again, looking at the extremes of the wicks. So wick up there, then the wick over here on the left, just there. And then we came into that big wick to the upside in the 4H, I entered in the hourly. And then yeah, looking for this one to continue back down to that support there. So we'll see how this one goes. But overall, looking not bad. USJPY, I'll quickly go over that one again, no problem. Hey, lovely work, greens from Nigeria, wicked. Nigeria, whereabouts in Nigeria? Obviously that is where my dad's from. So yeah, I'm actually half Nigerian. AUSD, of course, we'll take a look at that. Hey everyone, is someone else able to say why no one talks about Oh, dead projects. Yeah, I'm not too sure what you're going on about there. You're going. Okay, no problem, Anthony. Catch you tomorrow, man. Right. Some of this profit, but yeah, I mean, have a good one, Anthony. Thank you for joining the stream. Much appreciated. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. But yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, be sure to leave a like. It does really help the channel out. So yeah, use JPY. So for this one, expecting to see more upside still. For me, still counting this as retracement. So we are looking pretty bearish on the 4H, but you know, nothing has really changed in the grand scheme of things for JPY. Everything's still pointing to the upside until we get you know, some type of break of structure or some lower highs developing. Everything's still pointing to the upside. So this is mainly where, you know, I'm saying look to get back involved for JPY for a push back up again. Got a nice level there running through, was resistance a couple times, as you can see, was support there briefly as well. Not briefly, it's pretty strong move to the upside. But yeah, we've got this trend line here as well, which the market's tested so many times. This was a big false break. So most likely coming back down into here, we most likely will see another push back up again. Again, targets, you can look at the highs up there, but you don't actually have to push the trade that far to make a good amount of pips. So for U-shaped if I was looking to trade this, I'll be waiting for price to come down to here, looking for some longs, snapping, yeah, and move to the upside. Probably wouldn't hold for the full move. I might leave some to trickle there. But if you break through this, that's when my bias will change. I'll be like, okay, price is changing, structure is breaking, buyers are no longer holding, and sellers are starting to take a bit more control. So if we do see a break, I'll see how we break out, see what we do on our retracement, because again, we've had a breakout in the past which was false. So I'll see what we do on the retracement. If we start forming some lower highs, then yeah, we can look for that reversal for this one. But as things stand, a bit more downside for JPY, 136,600, and then another push back up again is what I'm looking at for this one. AUSD, I'll get into that now. Hopefully that was helpful. If you didn't understand anything or want me to go over something quickly, let me know. AUSD. Okay, so yeah, AUSD, again, another dollar pair, seeing some upside. The dollar's obviously having some downside now, so obviously a lot of dollar pairs are reacting accordingly. So we're seeing some upside now. Again, for AUSD, still bearish on the pair. We are trading at some key levels of support, which I do think, you know, if we do have some reversal signs, we could potentially change trend. You can see if I actually zoom out even further, you know, this level of support here, big moves to the upside, big moves to the upside. This was a big false break. We're coming back to that same support again. So from a higher time frame perspective, we are trading at some strong levels of support, but so far there's no evidence yet that we are changing trend. We are breaking out this kind of channel here that price has been trading in on the daily stroke 4H. So you can see price being a tightly knit channel, which we are breaking out of, but it's not necessarily telling us that we are reversing. Our last major low high was back up here. That was our last major low. We've just created a new one. Technically speaking, we can pull back anywhere in this area and still go bearish and still head lower, or at least still come back down to the lows here. So I wouldn't write off the sells completely for AUSD, but the fact that we are climbing back above this does mean that there could be some more upside. So for AUSD, since we've broken out this channel here, getting back above this area here, the areas that make sense to me for AU is this level here and this high up here. So if we can get a nice little retest of the level we just broke through, get some high lows printed, maybe a double bottom, can catch some buys into 0.695 and maybe 0.698 up there. If we're going to 4H time frame, you can see all we're doing is utilizing that previous swing low, now a support. We've got the breakout of the trend line, so we can get another higher low printed and get some nice upside there. Probably got, you know, a bit of a trend line, maybe not the best trend in the world, but it will provide some confluence. And then I would expect price to hit those areas where potentially, again, like I said, we could come into these areas, form a lower high and reverse, form a lower high and reverse. So the buy is definitely on, but more likely than not, most likely will just be, intra-week basis, short-term basis, and then things could flip around bearish quite quickly, unless something major happens. And obviously that'll be new information. I'll make a new judgment to that. But as things stand right now, yes, more upside looks good for AUSD, but don't marry that trade. Don't get too involved with that one, because I wouldn't be surprised if we turn back around. But yeah, AUSD, if you can hold this support here, 0.68612, a push back to 0.69530 looks good, and 0.69868 looks good as well. Potentially all the way back up there, but no need to be too greedy and push the trade too far. So yeah, I hope that made sense. Gold, okay, gold's been pretty popular. We'll take a look at gold. So yeah, gold, for this one, I'm expecting to see some upside for gold from 1700. Price is looking like it is about to have some retracement. Obviously, dollar seeing some weakness. We would expect to see the opposite for gold, to see some strength. It does look like the market is struggling to push lower. We recently had a big push to the upside. The market's rolled over, taking out the lows now, and now it looks like the market is giving us some bullish structure here. So if you can snap above this level here or retest this support, I'll say some buys would look good. And 1744 would be a nice target. Obviously, you don't have to push it that far. There's some levels there, or whatever pip target you have. But for gold, for me, I do think 1744 does look pretty good. If you can form that support again, basically double bottom, or break and retest that high there, gold does look like it's about to see some retracement, and then maybe from here again you could come straight back down again, because higher time frames are still pointing down. Unless something crazy happens, we most likely will continue south. So yeah, gold for me, still bearish, but I do think retracement is most likely coming through, and then yeah, another bearish move could happen. No problem, happy to help. Look at market factor, we're pretty in the bullish market. We're a pretty bullish market right now. Like on, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Yo-Yo. Bullish market on what? On BTC? There's nothing bullish about BTC, I'll tell you that for free. I haven't actually looked at Bitcoin yet today. Hey, thank you, Veston. So yeah, we are pushing to the upside for Bitcoin, but there's definitely nothing bullish from it. I'm expecting to see some retracement for Bitcoin. I've been calling a breakout to the upside for this one, but most likely we're going to form a lower high somewhere to come straight back down. Either one of these areas, I would expect price to sell off again. The market is still very much in a bearish market right now for Bitcoin. So if you're looking at investing for Bitcoin, I would hold your horses for a little bit. There could be some nice short-term buys if you're looking to trade Bitcoin, some buying and selling. Yes, that does look good, but for the long run, I do think Bitcoin could probably have another phase of this bearish market cycle before maybe going bullish again. But yeah, things are still pretty bearish. So I think Bitcoin can break out to the upside, most likely will come back down again. So I would not be looking to get invested. Obviously, do what you want to. I'm not a financial advisor, but from a technical standpoint, yeah, that's what everything's looking like. Hey, King C, welcome to the stream. Welcome. Looking at any pairs, any trades running? Good morning, Mohammed. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Morning. It's actually almost afternoon. So yeah, for me, USD CAD main focus. Obviously, I'm trading pound at NZD, but that pair I'm just going to be managing. In terms of trading and getting back involved and entering another trade, USD CAD's looking likely. I want NZJPY to be traced, but it looks like it kind of just has a little bit there, so not enough for me. GJ as well, not enough for me as well, but I'm still looking at USD CAD buys. Right, it's still my bias for USD CAD, so I'm still looking at buys for this one, but nothing's quite set just yet. I do think this level here is probably going to break. I do think this is going to break, and price is going to take out these lows here. So buys are not quite on yet for me. I do see USD CAD breaking through this level, taking out those lows there, pushing to 1.28600, and from there as well, look to get my buys. Or if I'm wrong, price will push up, and then I'll get some catch the next retracement and then buy it. But that's what I see price doing. So if I'm wrong, I'll look to get into the next high low. But if I'm right, I'll probably see another leg to the downside, and then 1.286. I'll see if I can go long. You are what? Financial advisor? No, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not licensed. Disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I just share my analysis, I share my opinion, and do with that information what you will. Hello from Holland, wicked. Big up Holland. Whereabouts? Amsterdam? Rotterdam? That's the only two places I probably know. Yeah. Now close some trades there. Oh, okay. I mean, you got to take your profit. You got to take your profits at some point. But when you trade like Cad Seat Chef, when you traded Cad Seat Chef last week, can see. So yeah, for me, USD CAD is what I'm looking at for some buys, but I do think we'll probably sell off first and then go long. Because again, this is kind of like a big range. It's kind of like a big range, and this could be interpreted as a false breakout to the upside. So, you know, coming back to the lows of the range, you know, I will be looking to buy from here. First target, second target, third target. But we will see, because obviously need price action to match my bias, and I don't have that right now. Is it Notre Dame? Is it Notre Dame, not Rotterdam? My bad. Yeah, as soon as I said it, I was thinking, is it Notre Dame? I mean, to be fair, I might be wrong. Is it not Notre Dame? There's something in Holland called something Dam, and it's not Amsterdam. Amsterdam is one of them, but there's another one. USD CAD definitely go along. I can second that, Joseph. I'm looking for USD CAD to go long as well. 1.32 back to highs is what I'm looking at for this one. I do think some more downside is imminent though, so I wouldn't look to buy it just yet. You can look to buy it, of course, it's at a really nice level, but in terms of price action, I do think we'll probably sell off first, then go bullish. If I'm wrong and we can clear this high up here on the left, then I'll look to enter some buys, some actual trades for USD CAD. But in terms of my analysis, you know, I'm still looking at USD CAD doing that next swing back to the upside, and even further as well. There's a lot of room to the upside for price to move into for USD CAD. So I do see us, if you do trade back at these levels, I do think price is going to go a lot higher. But as things stand, obviously dollar's not really helping at the moment. So I do think USD CAD can continue to fall a little bit further, and then some buys for maybe 1.285, which is this support here. As long as price doesn't break through this, I'm still bullish on USD CAD. If we break through this level, then I do think USD CAD will just have a huge sell-off back down to these areas. But as long as you stay above, I'm bullish. So I do think we'll probably break to the downside, test 1.286, 285, look for some buys there. We've got some nice targets to aim for, and then we'll see what we can do on our way up. BTC going right now, go bees. I'll relax. I'll relax a little bit. Yeah, you're a little bit too excited. I mean, if you're looking at trading Bitcoin, wait for the breakout, wait for your retest before doing anything, I would say. In this area, price action is very, very speculative. Price going up, down, up, down. Price could literally just come right back down again for Bitcoin. It's just at the highs of the range. You can see the wicks here prior, wicks into that area prior, some more wicks into this area. I mean, a move back down could definitely happen. So, it's either two ways you can really trade it: wait for the breakout or retest, or you can look to trade the fluctuation of the range, aka look for sells up here for drive lower, look for buys up here for drive higher, until the breakout happens, of course. For me, from a swing point of view, I do expect the next swing for Bitcoin to be bullish, and then we can probably catch some sells from these zones here, depending which one holds. But the market's definitely in a bearish cycle here, so even if we do push up higher, most likely price will bleed back down again. But yeah, Bitcoin right now is just fluctuating sideways. I wouldn't really look too much into it. Same people looking to buy and get too too heavily focused on what price is doing right now would have been the same people, looking at this, going long. A lot of people would have the stop losses underneath here just to get taken out. I mean, right now price is going sideways. There's not too much going for it unless we get a really nice break and retest. Cute Honsi. Pound CAD, yeah, sure thing, Daft, no problem. Yeah, Yo-Yo's a bot. Yeah, I can see that now. I like BC to break those 23k for today. Fair play. Okay, we'll take a look at Pound CAD. Okay, so yeah, Pound CAD is at exceptionally important levels here on the higher time frames. On the monthly, by the way, quickly, I'll get into low time frames in a second, but from a hard time perspective, we're trading at some very, very important areas. You can see a couple of wicks into the zone and price flew to the upside from this level. So we're definitely at a strong level of support. Hence since we've had this big meltdown, we're likely to see some retracement come into play soon. So that's where my bias is coming from for Pound CAD. Even though things are definitely still very, very bearish, there's really not too much evidence that we are reversing yet. I wouldn't really look at selling the pair any further. We could go lower, but I'm expecting to see some retracement happen on the higher time frames at first before we do push lower. So for USD CAD, last week my main focus was this level here, which looks like we've just got back above it. So as you can see, really key support here. Price was holding, we broke to the downside, had kind of half-hearted retest, and now we've kind of broke back above. So I'll wait to see if we can reject this level some more, throw some more wicks to the downside like we were doing over here, and then buys to the upside will look very, very good, because now that we snapped out of this channel here as well, all these lower highs are broken out. If you can throw some more wicks to the downside, I would say, Pound CAD's likely to see some more upside. You've got target 1 there, target 2, to aim for. So for me, if you I keep saying USD CAD, Pound CAD, I would expect upside for this one. Got some nice trend line confluence there. So if we can pull back, see nice high low or something, buys into 1.56400 look good, and then maybe even 1.57 as well. But yeah, Pound CAD for me, looking at upside, as long as we can stay above that zone as well. Above 1.55233, stay above that. Pound CAD looks good for more upside. CAD looks a little bit weak as well, so I think that could sustain, hold Pound CAD out. But yeah, I do think pads can come. Is there some way I could just okay, there we go. That's much better. So yeah, pound CAD, looking at some more upside for this one. We'll see how that one can develop. But I'm looking at going along with USD CAD. So I do have a forecast for more CAD weakness as well. But yeah, nothing quite cemented just yet for that one. Can still see a little bit more downside before I do buy into that. But that is where I'm expecting price to push into. No problem, Daff. Happy to help. Happy to help. How's Panthe's? So yeah, Panthe's moving pretty well. So with this one, I'll probably look to start getting ready to close positions that are around here. And I'll probably just leave maybe like 20% to run to see if I can get back down to these lows of 1.89. But yeah, that's about the only trade I got going on right now. There's a couple of other pairs that do look good, but I need a little bit more information before I can stick any trades on actually. So yeah, I'm just going to be managing this one right now. What currency pair do you mostly trade? What currency pairs do I mostly trade? Mostly Euro USD or Pound USD, I would say, are the most traded pairs. I'd probably say Euro USD is probably the most actually. But yeah, those are the pairs that for me give me the best price action. Those are the pairs that I kind of do most of my back testing on. So a lot of my kind of principles, the way I trade, kind of come from Euro USD and Pound USD, and then I just take them into other markets. So a lot of the kind of the core foundation come from Euro USD and Pound USD. So yeah, Euro USD, Pound USD probably my better pairs. And CHF pairs for some weird reason as well. CHF pairs have been pretty good for me as well, which is weird because it's a random pair, random currency. But AUD CHF and CHF have been very, very well. But Euro USD is probably my most traded. Is USD CAD selling? Yeah, USD CAD is looking bearish still. I'm bullish on USD CAD, but I do still see this one selling off a little bit further to the downside. A little bit further to the downside before actually reversing. So I do think these lows here on the left are going to get ready to taken out. You can see these strong candles here on the left. Big move to the downside, big move back up. A lot of people get a bit too excited for USD CAD buying into these moves here as price is moving up, so we most likely will run back down, take these lows out because this is where a lot of people's stop losses are, come back down and then probably test this area before going bullish. So yeah, I think USD CAD most likely will continue to sell off. If you're looking at selling USD CAD, we've got a really nice level here in the 4H as you can see, which price is still trading above, so it's not confirmed yet. But if you can break below 1.29386, most likely will come break, retest. You can probably look for some entries there and take the trade to the downside. You've got a nice target to aim for, or that zone here as well, which is this support here on the daily. That could be your final target. But yeah, USD CAD, if you're looking to sell this one, wait for break and retest of 1.29395 at least, and then yeah, short it back down to these areas or to that wick there on the 4H and hourly. I'm looking for the buys because that's where I see price going. You can see nice little swing got going there, so that's my forecast for it, but it's not quite set for those buys, which is why I haven't entered yet. I'm looking for price either to continue down or go and take out that high there, because that would tell me, okay, yeah, support is holding, buyers coming back into play, let's start getting long. If we continue to leak, bears are still in control, and then from this level here as well, look to go long. Yeah, that's what, again, nice. Yeah, so that does line up quite well. So yeah, if you're looking to go long, short, sorry, looking to go short, key level there. Wait for it to break. We are still forming a lot of wicks into this area, so shorts are definitely not in play just yet. You want price to break through that to get the confirmed, closure below. But yeah, when we do, you can wait for your retest, whatever time frame you're looking at, for maybe 15-minute or 30-minute or something like that. Then yeah, you can look for some shorts to the downside there. Again, couldn't watch this morning, but we'll rewatch my pairs. No problem, Robro. Happy to see you on the stream though. What a rally US pairs today though. Afterwards, entries are so stupid, simple, but life is difficult. I mean, yeah, very, very true. US pairs have seen a lot of upside. US DXY has seen a lot of downside respectively. So yeah, they've definitely been reacting to that. Again, I do see a little bit more juice left for the DXY to bleed a little bit more to the downside. Same thing for the dollar pairs. I do see USD CAD falling a little bit more. I do see AUSD pushing to the upside a little bit more. I see Euro USD pushing to the upside a little bit more into that zone up there. I do see pound as well pushing to the upside a little bit more as well. Got a nice little zone there. But again, my whole kind of analysis forecast for them hasn't changed. It's still bearish. So as you can see, with a lot of the setups I've drawn here, I'm still pointing a lot of these arrows to the downside. So I expect a little bit more, and then we could sell off again. Euro USD as well, a little bit more, could sell off again. USD CAD, a little bit more, buy back to the upside. AUSD, a little bit more, could sell off from some of those areas. So that whole kind of bias hasn't changed too much. I need to see a little bit more from DXY, get some lower highs being printed, start holding resistance, give me some signs that okay, we are failing to push higher. Then yeah, that's when I'll start changing my bias completely. But as things stand, I'm still treating this bearish leg here for the dollar as retracement. We could potentially see price when we come to this area here, or maybe even to this sort of area before maybe we go bullish again. But yeah, definitely right. Dollar is bleeding. A lot of dollar pairs are enjoying that. So yeah, for some of them, some of them entries are still valid here. If you can have some pullbacks into these areas, look for some buys to continue. Thank you DC for subscribing, much appreciated. Yeah guys, if you are enjoying the stream though, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I was checking my YouTube analytics, almost half the people that do watch the channel are not subscribed. That is appalling. Make sure you go subscribe if you are enjoying the content, finding it useful. So yeah, pull back into that. If you can hold support, can look for move to the upside. USD CAD, retest of that level, then move to the downside. Euro USD, retest of this level. I'm not too sure if it'll do that. It looks like it might just continue to fly, but if it does pull back, that'd be great. And pound USD as well, pull back into that area, which is that price and low then the left. I do expect us to go fill that range back into 1.215, and then from there we might sell off again. So yeah, my overall analysis hasn't changed too much, and the USD is also popping off. There's something in my eye. So yeah, as the USD is also popping off, we are at some key levels to be fair. But yeah, I just need a bit more evidence before I can call any reversals. Yes, USD pairs will push up more, I think, now to get in there. No retracement to go along to resistance. It was entry, but I guess we have to wait for it. Yeah. That's the beauty of trading. That's the beauty of trading. A lot of it is waiting. Looking for something in the market and then waiting for it to actually formalize and give you some entry signals. A lot of it is just waiting really. So with these dollar pairs, if you are looking for those long trades, which do look good, you're just gonna have to wait for price to meet some criteria. Because as of right now, price has kind of just had a big move in one 4H candle. That previous 4H candle that just closed, about 2 hours ago now. Big candles Euro USD, big candles in pound. Big candles on USD CAD coming down, big candles on AUD pushing up. So we see a lot of big candles, and these are the ones that if you're not already in the trade, you're going to have to wait for price to retrace again to come back down, test some levels. So yeah, I'm looking at those areas there for the buys for AUD, Euro USD, Pound USD. These are the areas that I've got mapped out for them. They could obviously just fly. They might not even retrace. That is obviously a possibility as well. They might not even retrace. They might just fly. But if they do give some nice criteria, could get some nice longs. Hey, Keanu Reeves, big fan of the Matrix. Big fan. Great job, thank you. Safdar, no problem, thank you. How do you put the pair name in the background? Yeah, you just go on settings. Wait, so basically right click on the screen, go settings down here, and then tick watermark, and then yeah, it just comes out on the back of the screen. And then obviously you can just change your colors and stuff, whatever you want it to be. But yeah, just right click, settings, watermark. On appearance, by the way, on appearance. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, guys, welcome to the end of the stream. So I do hope you guys have enjoyed it, found it useful. This has been a very, very hot stream for me. I've got the fan in the background. Thank you so much for subscribing, much appreciated. I hope you guys have found the stream useful. If you haven't done already, make sure you do subscribe. Hit the like button, does really help the channel out. Obviously subscribing, join part of the family, become part of the community. If you haven't hit the bell as well, make sure you go do that so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, guys, I will be live again tomorrow, same time as usual, 10 to 12 London time, UTC +1 in the morning. So I hope I do see you guys there, and I will be live again on Wednesday. I'll be posting a video on Friday again this week, recapping my previous AUD trade, which I had a couple of weeks ago, I think it is now. Short trade I had. I'll be breaking that down in complete detail from the start to the end, going through everything: stop loss, targets, entries, reasons behind it, analysis, forecasting, management of the trade. All of that will be covered in that video on Friday. So hopefully those kind of trade breakdowns do help you guys learning the market. So yeah, do look out for that video on Friday. But yeah, guys, I will be live again tomorrow, and I hope I catch you all tomorrow. Take care, stay safe, and see you tomorrow. That was a very, very long exit, but yeah, have a good one, guys.